you doing today, sir?
Very good, Steve, and yourself?
I'm doing good. Nice to see you not in Hong Kong.
Nice to see you not in Hong Kong.
So I thought Sing Street was awesome.
Cool.
I had such a good time. What was it like for you last night watching it with
For the first time?
Yeah, with 1,200 people?
Incredible, man. I really didn't know what to expect from the film, and I was just blown away by the response from the audience, man. It was really unbelievable. I'm very proud of it. It was a very personal film for John Carney. The fact that he wanted me to be a part of it was really flattering. I was honoured. I gave it as much as I could, and I'm just really pleased with the result, man, for everybody, especially for the younger guys as well. They're phenomenal in the movie, and you know for me as an actor, you know, like all my performance is it's acting. You know, that's it. That's what I do. But for these guys, the music, man, it's just the way that they can articulate the storyline just through the music like that, man, is just unbelievable to me. So really cool.
Well, 99.9% of the people watching this will have not seen the movie. So I hate asking the generic, but I really hate asking it. But talk a little bit about the movie and you know what it's about and who you play.
So the film is set in the 1980s in Dublin at a time when there was kind of a bit of an economic recession going on there. It is kind of the perspective of a kid who's about like 14 years of age. He's in a school, like a Jesuit school, pretty good, like middle class sort of vibe going on there. And then his family send him to a much rougher school in Dublin, a really like kind of harder, kind of working class school.
It's a good place for interviews.
Yeah.
It's fucking madness back here.
So one way or the other, he goes to this really hard school, and you know he's trying to adjust and figure his way around it. And he meets this girl who is just like out of this world, just so beautiful, man. And he decides he's got to start up a band to try and get this girl. He's got an older brother in the film, played by myself, who's kind of like a bit of a burnout, and he's like, you know, he just sits in his room smoking weed all day and listening to LPs. And so the older brother's kind of like his cultural guru and kind of helps him to, you know, define what he's going to do and how he's going to do it and kind of become the person he's going to be. And yeah, so that's kind of the long and short of the movie.
You have what's interesting is you're almost a mixture of Yoda from Empire and Brad Pitt from True Romance in terms of the look and the knowledge, you know, the teaching, if you will.
Yoda and Brad Pitt, dude.
Yeah, it's like, but no, it's
I gotta see a Photoshop of that, man.
Yeah, but you know, the way you're looking, and it's like the haircut, the whole thing. Yeah. So talk a little bit about how much is that you, how much is that costume designer, how much is it a mutual decision?
I kind of said, I mean, the wig was like a given. We were gonna do like a long hair thing, you know? And I wanted a wig. It didn't quite turn out this way because it's a really puffy wig and he obviously doesn't wash a huge amount, this guy. But I was like, okay, I want a real David Gilmour-y kind of wig going on here, you know what I mean? So there was that. I thought the costume designer on the film was absolutely fantastic, man. Tiziana, she's brilliant. You know, like character-wise, this guy's somebody who I definitely relate to. I had figures in my life like this growing up. I understand it. They're people who are fascinating and they can impart so much culture and so many really formative things on you, and then you get to a point in your life where you realize that they're also flawed people, you know? And you know, you can develop an appreciation for that as well. So it was really interesting for me to play this one, man, and it's like a really dynamic role, and it's great. I'm delighted about it.
You're a little disappointed you didn't get into more of the singing?
Oh yeah, man. I was coming on set every day. I was like, John, look what I can do. Can you sing, or is it like you? I've not. It's been a long time since I've tried. I'm a bit scared about it, to be honest with you. I'm not brave enough.
I understand. Talk a little bit about the production, because obviously this is not some huge budget movie. This is an indie. Mm-hmm. You know, was it one of these things where everything you felt it on set, or did you feel like?
It was an Irish film, man. You know, and like I started with small independent Irish films, and that's kind of like my natural home. Really, it's where I feel most comfortable. So for me, it was great. It was, you know, I was back at home in Ireland. I'd been working in the States, obviously. I came home to Ireland and, you know, I made this and another couple of cool kind of Irish movies. And it just felt brilliant, having my friends around me, having people who I know working with me, you know what I mean? Just, it's great, it's a good experience.
We'll talk a little bit about what you thought, like, again, you touched on it a little bit at the beginning about seeing it for the first time. When you were on set, you're making this thing, is the finished film what you thought you were making, or is it, do you know what I mean, like with the vibe and the tone and the energy?
I knew what John wanted to get across from the script, and I think that he surpassed what I expected the film to be anyway. I loved the script, I thought it was going to be a really solid movie either way, but I think maybe it's the music, man. I think it's that element just brings it to a whole different level, man, and really it's outstanding, and I'm really proud to be a part of it. I have to say, I walked away from the film last night and I was just like, God, I mean, I just have a huge amount of pride in that film. It just made so many people feel so good, and I was part of it, and that was great.
Absolutely, and it's funny because I think most guys are getting...
Fuck.
I think most guys do bands for the reasons why he's doing a band.
What do you mean?
Girls.
Oh, yeah.
It's just the universe.
For sure, man.
Yeah, it's the universe, you know.
Absolutely, and it's understandable. That's absolutely fine, but what's interesting about it is, even though that might be your primary motive, in this case, we see this kid growing up so much and developing through that, you know what I mean? Which is sweet.
The way we've sort of joked about this a little bit, but like I really dug your performance in this a lot.
Thanks, man.
I really did, and you have this great attitude on screen, like the character and the way you're portraying him. How much are you looking at? How much is that in the script? How much is that working with John? How much is that you saying, this is who I think the character is?
Well, I think John kind of trusted me with it, you know what I mean? We sat down, we had a meeting together. When I say meeting, we had a pint of Guinness in the pub, like. And, you know, like I said, me and John have been very good friends for a really long time. And I was flattered that he trusted me enough with this because, like I say, it's a very personal film for him. So, you know, it was an honor, and he was like, look, man, you know, I know that you can bring this, you can really knock this one on the head, you know, if you come on board with it. So I already have my idea. From the first read of the script, I was like, I know exactly what I want to do with this character, man, and that was it. So
you made the right choice.
Thanks, dude.
I want to touch on the fact that you have a few cool things coming up.
I do.
And I want to talk about these things while I have you. So talk a little bit about your next two films.
Well, I've got Free Fire coming up, which is a film that I watched less than a month ago, and I'm also incredibly proud of. That's a Ben Wheatley film. For those of you who don't know Ben Wheatley, he directed Kill List, he directed Down Terrace, he more recently directed High Rise. What else has he got in there? A Field in England. What was he doing? Sightseers?
He's done a few things.
Amazing British director. Really quirky, really dark humor. And Free Fire is no different. It's an ensemble featuring Cillian Murphy, Brie Larson, Armie Hammer, Sam Riley, Michael Smiley, Sholto Copley, a bunch of other people. And it's set in a warehouse in Boston in 1978, so it's like serious style, dude. Serious style. John Legend kind of era, right? And it's basically about an IRA arms deal that kind of goes wrong. So it's like an hour and a half long gunfight in a warehouse, and it's cool. So very excited about that movie.
I have to pause you there for one second. Yeah. Is it like hard? Because the way Ben described it to me, it seemed like it's hardcore R, like real violent, like, you know. Is that the way you describe it?
Yeah, man. I would say it's kind of like one of the definitive gunfight movies, maybe.
I cannot wait.
It's gonna be good.
I can't wait. All right, so what the other thing you?
So there's that, and then more recently, I just finished up on a film called HHHH, which is based on a novel about Reinhard Heydrich, who was an officer in the SS. He was kind of the Reichsprotector of Prague. He was a complete tyrant. If he had survived to basically go to trial at Nuremberg, he probably would have been branded one of the worst of all the Nazis, really. And he was the only SS official ever to be assassinated, and he was assassinated by Jan Kubiš and Josef Gabčík and their team, who were kind of Czech resistance fighters. So I just made that film. Jason Clarke, the amazing Jason Clarke, plays Heydrich, and he, is terrifying to even be in that movie with him. Like to be on set with him in that movie was an experience. He was just so incredibly intimidating with the blonde hair, that insane uniform, like the look in his eye, man. It was hardcore. I think it's gonna be. It's an amazing performance from him. Rosamund Pike is in it, playing his wife. Myself and Jack O'Connell play the two, Jan Kubiš and Josef Gabčík. Jack is an amazing actor. He's one of my closest mates now. What a dude! I can't wait to work with him again. Mia Wasikowska's in the film. Bunch of other great English, Irish, Australian actors. So I think that's going to be an exciting movie. Let me also say Cédric Jimenez, who directed the film. Excellent director.
I was going to say that I was a fan of Jack, but I became a huge fan of Jack after 71.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm assuming you've seen?
Of course, yeah.
Yeah,
half my friends are in that movie.
I was going to ask you, I'm like, that has to be like you're watching all your friends on screen.
Yeah, it's weird.
What I want to touch on is I have friends that are actors, and sometimes I see them on screen, and it's tough for me because I'm seeing people I know, and I'm not trying to put myself in the interview, but I'm seeing people I know on screen, and it's hard to take a moment to realize, it's hard
it's
sometimes.
A character and it's not your friend.
Yeah, it's a little weird. So for you, when you're friends with all these Irish actors, you're watching a movie like 71, is it like a different experience? Like, can you take away the fact that you know these people, and do you know what I mean?
It depends on the film. With 71, it was hard because a lot of those people, I had worked in an actor's studio with for years, you know what I mean? And we dicked around for hours and hours in a warehouse, just reading nonsensical lines and doing improvs and all this kind of thing. So I was watching them from a kind of different perspective, and I was looking at what they were doing. I was going, all right, is he going to nail this here? And I get really excited when they do. Other times I watch a film, I have some friends who are actors, and I sit down and I watch a film that they're in, and instantly I'm just there, I'm in it. I don't see them, I just see their performance, and that's a great experience too. So
let's talk about memorable moments from making Sing Street. Is there a day or two you're always going to remember?
All the stuff in the bedroom, man. Just all the stuff in the bedroom was great. It was a little set in this electricity board building basically in Dublin, and I just remember every day I was coming in with my Bose speaker. I had Steely Dan playing all day, every day when the camera wasn't rolling, and it was just a great vibe, man. Everybody who was there because they wanted to be there and they wanted to make the best film they could. And I don't know if I've ever been on a film where the atmosphere was quite as enjoyable and quite as light and fun. It was just fun, man.
Sure. How, as an actor, obviously the more you do, the more maybe you refine your process, you know what you need. How have you refined your process as an actor through the various things you've done? Now when you get a script and you're getting ready to film, do you stick with the same routine, or are you mixing it up now?
It's hard because I don't necessarily have a routine, It's like every film has its own set of requirements and you have to prepare for things in different ways. So, I kind of just roll with the punches, man. And when I read something, I have to just kind of critically assess, okay, what is this? What do I need to prepare for this movie? Do I need to prepare for this movie? Or is it better if I leave it to just be completely organic and I just walk in there on the day and just go for it? Which in some cases, that works. So
obviously you were in the last Transformers.
I was.
What is it like being part of a movie that makes $1 billion worldwide? Did it change at all for you? Like you're in line at Starbucks and people are like,
no,
not at all.
No, it really didn't, man. I walk down the street and people don't know me. It's fine. It's cool. I'm actually cool with that, dude.
Right. I was gonna be because a lot of people I speak to who are in movies like that, you kind of lose your anonymity, and it's tough.
It didn't happen for me. Some people would see that as a negative. Personally, I actually see it as a positive. I like my privacy, right? What I do like is that people come up to me on the street and they comment on my smaller films that they've really enjoyed. And sometimes people are quite affected by the other work that I've done. And I think I'm getting to a point now where the films that I've made over the last 5 years, people are starting to just put them together a little bit, and I'm starting to get a bit more of a reputation as like an actor, an actory actor.
I understand.
Right.
What's obviously you just wrapped on stuff and you've just been doing things, but what are you thinking about for 2016? Like, do you have a little bit of like, are you aiming at something, or are you sort of like taking it as it comes in terms of scripts and offers and things like that?
Well, there's a couple of things on the go, dude.
Don't get yourself in trouble though.
Yeah.
I don't want you to say anything that you're going to get mad at me
There's
for.
there's a certain short list that's going on at the moment that's quite exciting. That I'm
Sure. I don't want to get you in trouble.
see how that goes, man.
Right, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, to do with a certain big franchise, and if that worked out for me, man, it would be insane. I would absolutely love that. Outside of that, there's a couple of cool scripts being bandied around at the moment that I've responded to and that I really like. I've done a lot of films in the last 3 years, man. Since I've seen you for Transformers, I think I've probably done like 8 movies, man. Which is a lot.
That's a lot.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
So, you know.
Yeah, but no, I want to ask you a follow-up on that. A lot of times I speak to actors because you're working so hard to make it, to be able to do movies, to be able to act, and then all of a sudden you're being offered all these scripts, and you sort of feel like that delicate balance between I want to take the work so they know I'm willing to work, and it's like, do you know what I mean? Like,
I don't do that. I don't give a shit whether people are going to respond to whether I'm willing to work or not. It's literally, if no good scripts come in, if there's nothing I'm interested in doing, I'm not going to do a film. That's it. I won't do a film if I think, okay, it's average, you know, I could do this and it could be okay. Never, ever, 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 ever going to happen. I would rather not work at all for 5 years, 10 years, whatever, man. I've got to really be in love with it. But at the moment, I'm blessed to be in a position where there is a lot of great material coming in, and I do have an opportunity to work on great things a lot of the time. I'm kind of a bit wiped out now, though, so I'm going to maybe take a break for a little bit, like a couple of months at home in Ireland.
I gotta go, but I spoke to Matt Damon, who's making The Martian.
What a legend, dude.
Dude, he's
so good in that movie, man.
And he's also the nicest fucking person.
Is he?
Yeah, like it
That's so good to hear, man.
It doesn't make sense. He remembers you. He like is the most grounded person I've ever interviewed. Like it doesn't make sense. It just doesn't, right? So, but he said that he took a year and a half off because he couldn't find a script that he really felt got him.
More power to him, man. More power to him.
Yeah.
You got to be that way. You got to be uncompromising, I think, you know? It's like, it's your life, man, and you're putting something out there, and it's going to define how you're viewed in this industry, you know? You have one shot at making the best career for yourself possible, so don't take silly risks.
On that note, I'm going to say congratulations on Sing Street, and I cannot wait for the next 2 things.
Thanks, man.
Let me hit stop.